Hi guys, welcome back. I thought today I would try a little experiment doing some wire weaving with some of the beads from the Curated Bead Box from, I think it was July. I can't remember. It was Bayou Blues or something like that. And so I have these beads kind of lined out here. I like it. I'm not sure if I like having more of the turquoise or less of the turquoise. So I've been toying with using up the grays and trying to use these turquoise. And so, no, I like the turquoise better. So, yeah, so anyways, I've been playing and I figured I'd do a video and we could do some wire weaving, make a wire woven bracelet with these beads and, you know, see how it comes out. I just definitely need to get the colors correct before going, and I don't know how many of these I'm going to use. And maybe it's those that I don't like. They're too dark. Do I have lighter ones of those? I have some with more white. Nope. Maybe we move the dark. Oops. The darker ones there. Yeah, that works. Okay, that spaces out the darker ones. All right, so anyways, what I've done off camera was I got 5 lengths of, oh goodness, I think it's 20 gauge square silver coated copper wire, dead soft. And I put it actually in a clip just to see if this will hold it for me so that I can get the braid started. Not sure this is going to work. You can usually tape it. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to be braiding 2 wires on either side and a single wire, which is going to be where the beads are held on, and I'm just going to kind of weave it back and forth. So first I'm going to start out, I do kind of need to get a braid started, so I'm going to angle this. And I'm actually making this up as I go along, so we're doing this together. I think I'm going to just pull those out of the way. Once I get this started, the braid started, it won't be so bad. Bring that over there. And then these here underneath. Bring this guy over. And I'm going to do one more set before I start because it's already coming out. So wire clip, not a good idea, or spring clip, not a good idea because I can feel it coming out, but that's fine. All right, so we get that there. And again, some of this is going to be cut off. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put on my first bead. And I don't know how many of these I'm going to be using, so we'll see, because again, it's only going to take so many beads to do this. All right, so I have my first bead on. I'm going to take my 2 wires, bring it across, bring these 2 wires across there and under this guy. Bring this wire over, and I'm going to put a gray bead on. And so, yeah, try to get that on camera. So I'm just putting on the bead onto the wire. And then we're going to go over, and I know my fat fingers are in the way, but I need to have them there. And these are going to go under and over that, and then this is going to go over, and we're going to put a turquoise on, and trying to keep them so that they're side by side and not twisted, which can be a pain. And then this one over, and then under the single wire. And now that we're back in the center, I'm going to put the dark gray on. And again, we need to have this about 6 inches, 6.5 inches, maybe a little bit bigger because it's going to be a cuff bracelet. And then that's going to go over. So I may need to alter my design just a little bit because with the wire, this is already making a pretty big bracelet. And again, we're going to be folding this part under here to make the cuff part. So I may do this, a gray and then a blue, and do 7 beads because that might just be what I need. Let me pause you for a second and go grab a measuring tape. Okay, so if I put this about here, which is probably where it's going to be cut off, probably right about there, and I measure 6.5 would be there, so I probably am only going to need about 3 more beads. So we're definitely going to have to alter the pattern, which is fine because we can probably make another bracelet with that pattern. All right, my bead is on, bringing my 2 wires over and below these 2 wires, bringing these 2 wires over the top, and then pulling my single wire here over the top of the 2 double wires here. And then we are going to put on a gray. And I like this because it's very simple muted tones. And over. 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 And I know I'm off camera putting on the beads, but that's simply just slipping them on the wire. And over, over, over. All right, now so that's what we've got so far. I'm kind of a stickler about symmetrical spacing. Trying to get it perfect. It may not be, but that will be what it looks like. And now we are going to do some braiding. And so now when you're braiding, you just want to kind of keep spacing. And sometimes this gets better than this side because when you're starting it, it's really difficult. But before I do that, I think I want to make this a little bit tighter. And this one a little bit tighter. We're going to end with that one in the center. And we're going to bring these all together. And I know once it's a little lopsided on this side, and that's going to be fine. Ooh! And I lost the spring. Now this isn't going to go anywhere because wire, once you've bent it into shape, it tends to stay that way. I'm going to take my pliers with the Teflon on it and just kind of press this down. It's going to kind of lock the braid in place. And so that's a quick bracelet. Now, to finish off the ends, I'm going to need to make a, well, first I need to measure it. So I need roughly 6.5 inches. What I'm going to do is find something round to bend this around so that I can get a decent shape to it before I finish it off, just because I want to try it on and make sure when I cut. So I'm going to use this jar of buttons, and I'm just going to start bending it just to get it started. And then, now that I've got it started, I am going to take my mandrel. So I have a bracelet mandrel here. So it's just let me bring you up a little bit. So it's just a mandrel, kind of wrist shaped. And what you can do is, now that it's started to bend, I can find my center bead, place it roughly on the center, right about where I want it to be down the bottom, and kind of form my bracelet to the shape of the mandrel. Oops, and I hit the camera. And so you're just going to be pushing this down and getting it into a bracelet shape, which it's still going to be quite big. We're still going to need to bend it in. And this is going to be a bangle, so I don't necessarily have to have clasps or things on it. I am going to be cutting and bending these ends in, maybe making some swirls. But again, I want it to be a bangle. So now I am going to cut from this bead. I'm going to cut roughly 1 inch. So I'm going to measure, and 1 inch is right about here. And I'm going to cut those off. And then I'm going to measure this side, roughly 1 inch. And I'm going to cut these off. Now this is also going to help me form the ends a little bit here, because I'm going to tuck them under or over. And see, now that's better. Now that I have that more formed, I may actually put findings on that so that it's... So I am going to take my bail making pliers, and I think I am going to just tuck this under, and then we will do that and make a nice loop there. And then we're going to take this side, and I didn't cut that quite even, and we are going to tuck this side under. Just because we want those tucked out of the way, and into a little loop, and I am going to polish this up. Don't worry, it's not going to look this strange. So we're going to bend some individual ones there. And then that just did not, that one was too long. See, that was why that one was too long. Right there. And the beauty of this is I can curl it with my bent nose or my small round nose pliers and get it to curl in, and then get these all to curl in. And then what I am going to do is I'm going to flatten this just a little bit. And we are going to decorate this, so and I got another end there that is too long. Just a hair too long, and I can't get to it. There it is. Of course, it also would help if I didn't have a camera in my face. All right, so now I'm going to use some of the scrap wires, and because I do want to decorate this. So I'm going to put a wire in, and I am going to first bend it so that it kind of tightens everything up. And we are going to make, I think I'm going to put some findings on this. So I am going to make a loop with one of these. So let's first, how do I want to do this? Let's first make my loop with this. And I'm going to hold on to it. And that is if it'll stay. All right. Let's do that. All right, that one's down. It's out of my way. I'm going to open this just a hair. And we're going to make a loop with this one. Getting that out of the way. And pulling that tight. And just doing 2 wraps. And then taking the end and curling it. I'm going to make a loop with it here if I can. My fingers just aren't working tonight. And we're just going to make a swirl. And I'm going to trim that end because it looks mushed, and I don't like mushed ends. And I'm going to tuck it in a little swirl. And kind of go underneath the loop. And then this guy is going to come over the top, and I'm going to come down and make a loop and then come around and close this side off. I need to, he can bend, he's not. And yes, I tend to call my wires he's. There we go. So I've kind of curled the end, and now I've just got to get this guy tucked down into place. And there's no, so we've got, and he moves a little bit, but to fix that, because my wires are a little bit loose, I am just going to flatten that down just a little. And I don't know if you can see that on camera. Let me bring you down. We have a little wire end with a little loop there. Now, if I wanted to, I could take this loop and I could tie it with some wire. I may just want to, not sure why that moves so much, but I do kind of want it to move a little bit. And I've pulled up in the process my other wires. There. Again, you want to make sure that there's no rough edges sticking out. All right, now this messy side, we are going to do the same thing. And I think that guy might still be a little bit long. I'm not sure, but we're going to anchor him. There we go. And I may just want to do a twist on that, which will be hidden just because this side was a little looser than the other side. I am going to flatten this down just a hair, and then we'll make our loop. Just trying to get a good grip on it here. We're going to go this, whoops, dropped it. We're going to go this way. I'm going to use the bigger one because I want a bigger loop. And there we go. And again, just 2 wraps. And I'm going to snip this as close as I can. Ooh. That one flew. And then just tuck in the end as far as we can. And then this guy is going to come down here. For my little loop. and then get wrapped twice, if possible, around, and we're not going to get twice, so we'll do it once. And that's the thing about handmade jewelry, is it does not have to be perfect. It's art. So don't worry if it's not perfect, because again, it's not manufactured in a machine, so it's not going to be totally uniform. And we tuck that in, and no rough edges. All right, now it's bent out of shape just a little bit, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of give it a curve, and there we go, and that's what it's going to sit like on the wrist. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put jump ring and if I can find my jump rings, my silver jump rings. I need bright silver, and I'm going to use big ones. And then I'm going to put a lobster claw on it. Crimp beads, crimpins. And I don't have a lobster claw, but I do have... I really need to get more findings. Oh, I do have lobster claws. Good. And I don't know if I want that big of a jump ring. I'm thinking these will do. That works. Instead of those. We'll use those for something else. All right. So I am going to, on one side, add a little bit of some chain. I don't want that chain. Just so we have something if somebody wants to, and I have extender chains here. So I buy these so that they're just the right length to clip on. If somebody wants to make it bigger or shorter, they can do that. I like to give people the option. That way, when you're making your jewelry, you don't quite have to worry about, is it going to fit a smaller person's wrist or somebody that has a larger wrist, because it's adjustable so that it'll fit anyone's wrist. Or if somebody likes it looser, somebody likes it tighter. I know people that when they wear bangle bracelets, they kind of like to wear it where when you're putting it on the wrist, it hangs down on the hand further. And I know others that like it so tight that it's right up on the wrist. So if I clip this, let me see if I can clip this. For you. Trying to get it on my wrist. I'm off camera here. Sorry about that, guys. All right, and I like mine a little bit looser, so I clipped it, and that's what it's gonna look like. And so that's just it was not as quick as I'd like, but that's a quick bangle bracelet with one of the beads from the Curated Bead Box, and quick woven bracelet, nice bangle. And actually I had a client at one of the fairs ask me for a bangle bracelet, so this will be perfect for her. Again, I'm just squishing down some things, squishing things in just because I want to see them a certain way. I do like the swirls that I've got there. Gives it a little nice interest, kind of hides some of the, and you could wire wrap that all, and I might do that in another video, show you how to do that where you wire wrap it and cover up all your ends. But there you go. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks for watching.